Hello, hello, hello. Dinig niyo na ba ako? Dinig niyo na ba? Hello, hello. Ayan. So, right now, we have a very special topic, no? Itong topic na to is about Agile Mindset. Yan, di ba? If you are in a software development setting, no, very important sa atin yung methodology na ginagamit on how we deliver products or how we deliver softwares. So napaka-importante na alam natin kung ano yung nasa trend ngayon, and the trend is going to agile or agility, no. Dati kasi software development life cycle or SDLC, very linear, very unorthodox, no. Pero ginagamit pa rin siya ngayon. But meron lang isang nag-boom na methodology, which is the agile methodology. So, ngayon may guest tayo. May guest tayo para to support no kung ano yung kailangan natin na information. Siyempre kailangan natin yung ano bang tawag dito? Kailangan natin yung expert no. Me, I'm a Scrum Master to myself right now. But of course, kailangan natin yung mas batikan, di ba? Yung mas mas kilala at saka mas pinagkakatiwalaan, di ba? Ang tawag nga natin diyan yung expert na totoo, di ba? So without further ado, tawagin na natin ang ating special guest. So itong special guest na to ay isang batikan with regards to agile maturity and agile implementation. So please welcome Sir Andrew Glovasa.
Yo, yo. Mike,
Yes, sir.
kumusta?
Ayos lang, sir. So, 'di ba? Napaka white na white tayo ngayon. Napaka pristine, 'di ba?
Na-pressure naman ako sa tawag ito,
Sa ekspertong totoo.
oo,
Totoo
sa
na.
ekspertong totoo.
Ay, ayaw niyong maniwala na ekspertong totoo to. Sir Drew, ilitan niya mo lahat ng mga mga certification and ano mo.
Ayaw.
Ayaw.
Student lang ako. Student. Same
Student.
lang tayo. Student of Agile.
Ayan. Pero, siyempre, we need to understand lang din, no? Si Sir Drew, parang 20 years na atang Hindi, joke lang. But matagal na sa mundo ng Agile si Sir Drew compared to me. Napakabagito ko lang when it comes to Agile. Kaya kailangan natin ng mas, experience, no? Sige, Sir Drew, pakilala ka doon sa mga hindi pa nakakilala kay Sir Drew. So, bigay kita ng short intro lang about yourself.
Sige. I'm Drew Glovasa. So, I'm a Scrum Master. So, aside from being a Scrum Master before, I've handled different projects on both telco and finance industries. So, more on that talaga ako nagre-revolve. Then, more on digital applications and digital back-end support. Usually, yun yung quote-unquote nakahiligan or naging expertise ko when it comes to projects.
Ayan, no? So, napaka-diverse ng experience ni Sir Drew when it comes to software development, no? So, sige, simulan natin yung first topic point natin, no, sir?
Sige.
The first topic point natin, syempre, bago tayo pumasok doon sa Agile Mindset, paano yung journey nyo being an Agile practitioner? Saan ito nagsimula?
Sige. So, I think I was with my second company during that time. So, I was handling a project for 2 years na. So, typical project management. So, I'm handling project management sa business analysis during that time. So, of course, 2 years na. So, nag-iisip ako kung meron ba tayong, in a way, new ways of working when it comes to a project. Parang, in a way, para fresh start for
Correct.
everyone. So, I was researching. So, nakita ko yung Agile. So, specifically Scrum. So, Scrum. So, yun yung parang quote-unquote sikat during that time. Until now naman.
Yeah.
So, ni-research ko siya. Then, pagkatas interesting naman siya. So, parang tingin ko naman makakatulong siya sa mga projects ko. So, I tried out and registered for a class. May class timing. So, very rare. Sobrang hirap kumuha ng certification at saka classes ng Agile during that time.
Correct.
So, merong isa ata for parang in 2 months. So, nag-join ako nun. Alam ko sa Peninsula pa yon. Then, pagkatapos hindi pa same company, I paid for it para lang to learn. So, yun. Tingin ko during that time parang love at first sight siya. So parang nagustuhan ko siya agad. So sabi ko i-pursue ko yung
Yung path dito.
pagiging agile practitioner. So yun then in the mga first projects ko when it comes to agile, it was not smooth at all. I failed many times. So parang pero agile mindset, growth mindset, 'di ba? Ang always nating tinitingnan is how we learn when it comes to our failures. Paano
Correct.
tayo matututo? Paano tayo babangon? So, eventually naman, when it comes to the succeeding projects, umokay siya. Pagkatapos, still learning every day. Just one thing lang siguro when it comes to our agile journey. Certifications will help, but experience and getting feedback are more important
Correct.
in that journey.
Correct. Tama, no, sir. Kasi parang may groundwork ka na eh. Kumbaga, may mga established rules and
Mm.
guidelines and para to follow, para lang mag-guide ka niya. Pero yung kung paano magiging flexible and kung paano magiging adaptable yung agile version mo, it's
Yep.
based on your experience talaga. Tama, I
Yep.
agree with that.
Yung certification pa lang, parang ano lang yan eh, susi sa pintuan.
Correct.
Pero, once
Hindi
na
mo
nasa,
alam kung ano yung nasa loob.
uh,
Oo,
so
paano
yun,
ka
yun.
magre-react. Correct.
Tama, tama.
Napaka gandang insight no. Tama nga naman na it's not about the papers that you have, but the experience that you can bring to the table.
No.
Yun talaga yung
Uh,
pinaka
then ang important rin ng isa is getting feedback. Kasi what if what you're trying to
correct.
instill to other people hindi pala siya nag-work. So
Correct.
always get feedback from people as well.
Correct. Yan. 'Di ba? Una pa lang 'yan ha. Una pa lang pang ANC na.
Sorry sa lighting, sorry sa lighting.
Ayan. So, syempre yung mga kasama natin sa industry right now na nanonood sa atin right now, no, you may comment down yung mga tanong o may mga tanong kayo if you have something na maka-add dito sa discussion natin, uh, very welcome kayo with regards to that. So, next topic point. So, alam na natin
Go,
yung
go.
journey. The next one is ano para sa inyo, sir, yung agile mindset?
Okay. Isa yan sa mga pinakamahirap sagutin when it comes to an interview. Di ba? Usually,
Correct.
iba-iba yung sagot. Any Scrum Master ata, iba-iba yung sagot. Siguro Agile Coach rin. Iba-iba yung sagot. Pero sa akin, this is sa opinion ko lang naman siya. So it's creating value not just for our customers, but also for ourselves and our teams. So, minsan we always revolve around our customers. Pero nakakalimutan natin na when it comes to agile, it's not just customer centric but it's
Correct.
also team centric. And you also have to improve yung self mo. Kailangan
Agree.
mong i-improve rin yan along the way. So uh, when it comes to the benefits and for when it comes to the buy-in, everyone should benefit, not just the customers, but also the teams. Kasi sila, di ba, ang nagpo-provide ng value sa customers. So
Correct.
they should also benefit from Agile and that mindset. So, yun for me, ang opinion ko when it comes to Agile mindset. So, tingin ko, iba-iba yan. So, sa'yo, Mike, ano yun? Kasi, di ba,
Oo.
you have a different opinion when it comes to
Yep. Yep.
Agile as well.
Pero most of us man siguro, sir, we have the same wavelength with regards to kung paano eh. No? Kasi
Yep.
the mindset should be balanced talaga. Na
Mm-mm.
kasi it's across all eh. Kumbaga hindi dapat maging one-sided. Pag naging one-sided ka, there's no balance at all na parang you are partisan na eh, 'di ba? So
Mm-mm.
kailangan yung improvement mo is as one. Kaya
Mm-mm.
matatakel natin yan mamaya sa core values. Pero yung oneness, yung collaboration, yung mga ganyan, dapat naka-instill yun sa culture eh before
Ah.
you can fully adapt the agile mindset talaga. Pero sa totoo lang sir, napakahirap talagang i-commit yung mindset na yan
Mm.
kasi may iba-iba tayong perception, may iba-iba
Ah.
tayong, 'di ba? Yung challenge talaga is to have that kind of unification goal and yung unification na strategy na to the point na you are helping one another instead of you are helping one party, 'di ba?
Mm.
So, parang doon talaga nagre-revolve talaga si Agile. And
Tama, tama.
sa tingin ko sir yung mga ganong mga bagay essential siya not only to the software development part of things, but also to the whole company itself.
Yep.
Di ba?
Everyone should understand yung importance at yung benefit niya.
Correct.
Kasi kung team lang siya, eventually, mafe-feel ng team na there's no support. So everyone should be aligned when it comes to that mindset. Kaya 'di ba minsan when it comes to agile, kailangan nakatatak rin 'yan sa kultura
Correct.
kasi everyone should be aligned when it comes to that mindset.
Correct. And lalo na kapagka ang pinaka-struggle talaga if yung team mo lang yung yung ganitong mindset, no?
Yep.
Alam ko it's another day to discuss kasi sobrang haba niyan. But yun lang, keep in mind na agile mindset is something na kailangan nating i-adapt, kailangan nating i-improve sa bawat araw na we are doing sprints and daily stand-ups. Yun lang, makuha nyo lang yung ganung rhythm, no, sir? Mas
Yep.
madaling mag-a-adapt, mas madaling magiging agile yung kanilang mindset. Sa tingin ko
Yep.
yun yung pinaka-important. Okay, sige. Thank you, sir. So, punta tayo doon sa core values, no? We have list of core values, no, para matignan nyo talaga if your team or if your company has this kind of traits. It's easier for you to divulge or divert the things, no, to agile. But we are not saying na porket meron ka nito implement mo agad, ha. Siyempre you need to, no, you need to understand and assess din, no. So ang first na core values para magkaroon ng agile mindset according to the resource na I get, is the first one is respect. How important respect in agile mindset for you, sir?
Siguro for me it's 'di ba most na-mention kanina, agile is at first 'di ba sinasabi natin at customer centric siya. Ito yung in a way more team centric na na core value niya. So it's in a way acknowledging that everyone is capable and independent. So as much as talagang walang micromanagement when it comes to agile, let the team do their groove and do their flow. Aside from that, parang have an environment built on psychological safety and positivity. So kasi 'di ba ang hirap na nga ng trabaho. Uh, Mahirap pa yung
Yung
environment
pakikisa.
ng team.
Correct. Correct.
So as much as possible create that kasi it opens doors, it
Correct.
opens transparency, aside from transparency yung pagiging open ng mga tao sa isa't isa. Pagkatapos mutual respect is very important as well. So then aside from that, inclusive culture. So, 'di ba? Important 'yan ngayon. So, different genders, races, etc. So, we should have an inclusive culture. And it's also important when it comes to respect. Then the mere fact na kailangan natin i-value yung isa't isa. So, everyone should feel valued when it comes to the team. So, tingin ko, it all boils down to respect. So, yun yung tingin ko kung bakit important yung respect in the team. Then, when it comes to respect, hindi lang siya team, ah. It also, it also um, kasama rin yung other people nito, yung customers, yung stakeholders natin, yung other parties na kasama when it comes to our development. So everyone should feel respected when it comes to that environment. Hindi lang yung core team.
Correct. So parang again, it's part of the oneness again, 'di ba? Na parang dapat across all, no? Hindi tayo namimili kung sino yung kunwari yung pinakamahinang team member.
Yeah.
Dahil sa pinakamahinang team member, you will not have the due respect na meron siya, no? So parang we need to have it across all regardless kung ano pa yung contribution niya with the team. At the same time, um, pero meron ako isang tanong, sir.
Sige, go.
How will you have respect to a person if he for himself he is not respecting the team, the you as a scrum master, and all of those parts of the team? Paano natin i-handle yon? Kasi maganda, respetuhan tayo. Pero how if may isang member or may mga members na they don't want respect?
Okay. Most of the time, may underlying problem yun. So, the first thing siguro no kailangan na gawin is to talk um one on one when it comes to that person, get his or her feedback kung bakit na-feel niya yun. Siguro you don't directly go to that point, but as much as possible, get his or her feeling when it comes to the team. Kasi usually, when it comes to that, there's an underlying problem na kailangan natin i-address.
Correct.
Then, for example, when it comes to people na sabihin natin na hindi naman, hindi pa at the level when it comes to performance of the other team members, or sabihin natin na lagging, sorry for that term, pero ang important doon is never the team should help each other, um, not for that person to fail. So kasi when it comes to that, it's everyone's responsibility, hindi lang siya responsibility niya.
Tama.
Baka kasi he or she doesn't feel supported, so yun lang naman. We just have to get his or her feedback when it comes to that, kasi mahirap siya na i-address agad without knowing what he or she feels.
So parang punta tayo dun sa pinakamalalim na rason kung bakit
Yes,
na nangyayari, and then let's try to inject some of the solutioning na kaya
yes,
natin gawin to help him
yes,
or her, no?
yes.
Tama.
Minsan kasi merong mga ano, parang I'm not sure if you're familiar with the ano with the Johari window. So isa sa part ng window na 'yan
Mm.
is the blind self. So ito yung mga information na alam ng ibang tao na hindi mo alam. So meaning, for
Correct.
example, sa akin habang nag-uusap tayo, hindi ko napapansin yung mga gestures ko, pero napapansin mo yon. So parang yung mga how I react, how I move my hands, etc. Alam mo yon, pero minsan hindi ko napapansin. So you just have to give feedback sa mga tao. Baka kasi hindi niya lang alam.
Tama, no?
So
Tama.
yun. So parang there's a lot of things that pwedeng gawin when it comes to that.
Correct. Napakagandang ano no, napakagandang suggestion 'yun, no. So, if you wanted to have this kind of culture within yourself na merong respect, no, kagaya ng sinabi ni Sir Drew, kailangan niyo siyang tulungan. No, it's not about the one person being blamed about the things na
Yes.
nararamdaman niya or na nanggagaling sa kanya. We wanted to help. That's agile, 'di ba?
Yep.
Parang tulungan ka namin kasi we are all one nga eh, 'di ba? Parati natin sinasabi kanina pa, we are all one. Yan,
Tama, tama.
napakaganda yan. Okay, sige. Next discussion point natin, number two core values natin is collaboration. Ayan, napaka-important niya, collaboration. Sa inyo, sir, yung collaboration, ano yung um, key work, parang key scenario nyo na para to say na we have a well-coordinated, well-collaborated team? Kailan yun
S-
masasabi yun sa
s-
sarili nyo?
Sa akin, ano, when it comes to collaboration, uh, kahit walang tools, they should be able to effectively and efficiently communicate with each other. Siguro aside from that, working well with other team members and outside sa team. So dapat they shouldn't feel blocked by someone when it comes to communicating with other people, especially yung outside the team. So I think collaboration shouldn't be just within the team but also with our stakeholders and our customers. So may tinatawag tayo na, 'di ba, customer centric versus product centric.
Mm.
So when it comes to doing or creating value, we should be more on the customer centric side of things compared to product centric. Customer centric meaning we always get feedback from our customers. Collaborate as much as possible, as early as possible when it comes to uh, your development items or stories. So, so kasi pag hindi ka nanghingi ng feedback, there's a tendency na at the end of the day, pag pinakita mo na yung I think
You
na
miss.
experience mo na to. Oo.
Yeah.
Pag pinakita mo na ay hindi yan yung gusto ko.
Yeah.
Uh, so
And
so
then
kung
rework.
Oh, rework, 'di ba? So, sinong napagod? Tayong lahat, 'di ba? So, tayong lahat naman napapagod niyan, hindi naman lang
Correct.
si ano, hindi lang naman tayo but also the customer. So,
Yep.
as much as possible when it comes to collaboration, uh, collaborate with our customers as early as possible.
Tama, 'no? Kasi yung value talaga, sila yung nakakaalam basically, 'di ba?
Yep.
And agile is more of a transparent adaptation, di ba? Yung mga ganun. So
Yep.
kailangan natin talagang siyang i-discuss, no? Kaya minsan nga sir, nawiwirduhan ako sa mga ibang mga companies na they're trying to become agile
Mm.
pero they don't have time to give feedback,
Okay.
'di ba? Parang how can we make sure na yung ginagawa ng teams is appropriate dun sa strategy or sa marketing or sa revenue related things na kailangan ng company if the mismong stakeholders or yung mga businesses, they don't have time to collaborate with the development team.
Okay. Sa akin, when it comes to that, baka may underlying problem ulit nun.
Ulit
So,
dun.
kasi
Oo.
hindi natin alam kung ano yung reason. Pero, in the first place, kailangan lang nila maintindihan what is the importance when it comes to feedback. Um, kasi 'di ba, mahirap gumawa ng walang guidance. Then pagkatapos it's hard at the end of the day na ipakpakita yung yung finished product. Then pagkatapos dun pa lang malalaman ng everyone na it's not gonna work or it's not what they need. So it's very important that they understand that they should provide feedback, but we also have to understand why they can't provide feedback.
Yes,
Baka
correct.
baka there are bureaucracies sa side nila.
Hindering, no? Tama.
Yeah, so kailangan lang i-align when it comes to that culture. Yung side ng development team and the one that should provide feedback. So everyone should understand that it is important.
Di ba? Napaka dito makikita yung flexibility ng agile na it's more about the people, how they can communicate and how they can express themselves and learn to tackle about the things, the elephants in the room,
Yeah.
'di ba? Parang napakagandang ecosystem nun na you are transferring the problem but not in the problem lang but also let's brainstorm and talk about it and let's see what are the things that na meron tayong options, 'di ba?
Yep.
Instead of itatago natin na magugulat na lang tayo sabay-sabay, ay sumasabog na, 'di ba? Yung parang mga gano'n, 'di ba? So, yun yung nakikita kong ano talaga, no, sir, yung advantage ng collaboration, no, na
Yep.
ang saya. Alam mo yun, sir, yung pagka naiisip ko yung gano'n tapos nakikita ko na gano'n na yung nangyayari sa harap ako, parang ang saya-saya. Na parang this is something na ideal na parang
This is what I dreamed of.
oo, parang
uh,
gano'n, 'di ba? Yung term
uh,
mo kanina sir na nakakakilig or yung parang
uh,
inano mo na, dun ka na-hook, 'di ba? Parang parang yun yung ano, yun yung parang ini-aim dapat ng lahat ng company right now na parang bakit natin itatago sa isa't isa, eh, we are all one on this one. 'Pag na bumagsak yung company, bagsak din kami, wala kaming trabaho, 'di ba? Yung mga gano'n yung chain reaction kaya, sana talaga mas maraming agile,
yep.
companies na mag-implement.
Kaya when it comes to the mindset, it should be coming from everyone from the top para aligned when it comes to the culture, aligned when it comes to everyone's understanding and everyone's expectations yung mindset na yun. So kailangan lang talaga hindi lang yung isang team lang yung ganun yung mindset. Everyone should have it. So yun.
Correct, 'di ba? Yung tama yung inclusive ng mindset kailangan talaga yun. Yan, 'di ba? Napakalalim agad, 'di ba? Ay, eto pala sir, may isa pa
Uh,
akong tanong with regards to 'di ba
okay.
yung struggle na sinabi ko nga na
Mm,
bakit kaya yung ibang mga business walang
mm.
time to have feedback, 'di ba? Sino ba dapat yung nagda-drive ng education or yung para maintindihan nila yung importance and so on? Yung ganung level ba, sir, kaya pwede rin ba na si Scrum Master yung gumawa nun? Or si Product Owner na ba gagawa nun? Or si Product Manager na ba gagawa nun? Or si Agile Coach ang gagawa nun?
Sa akin ano, sa akin anyone, sa akin
Anyone?
anyone should be able to do that. Even the developers, if the developers are not comfortable doing it, then they could ask help from anyone, from the PO, from the SMs, from the agile coach. Pero yun lang yung ano ko, yun lang yung siguro question ko. If they if they need to be educated, um, parang there's something that could be done when it comes to that, na that mindset, or the agile mindset, or the agile culture should also be dispersed within the organization. Baka kasi kayo lang yon, and it's hard to get support if you're the only team doing that. So everyone should be able to understand it, and everyone should know how, should have that mindset. Hindi naman siya automatic, but slowly everyone should be able to get to it when it comes to that mindset.
Correct. So parang yung driver talaga, no?
Yep.
Kailangan talaga may driver to provide those kind of initiatives. Kasi pag wala, struggle lang talaga magiging kontrabida ka pa. Kaya parang magkakaroon lang ng tug of war between your principles and the principle of majority, which is
Uh,
yun ang pinakamahirap na challenge, no,
di
when
ba?
yun implementing agile.
Tama. 'Di ba ang isa sa mga Scrum values is courage, and courage is doing the right thing.
Right thing. Yeah.
So everyone, kaya sinasabi ko na the dev should be able to be courageous enough to say that. Pero kung hindi sila comfortable, then they, by all means, they should approach their POs, SMs, or agile coaches for help.
Yeah.
So hindi naman natin mako-force 'yun. Baka kasi wala pang masyadong psychological safety within the team, or hindi pa siya masyadong comfortable doing it, then walang problema for them to ask help.
Yep. All right. That's clear. So, napakaganda. So, tapos na tayo sa dalawa na ang na-discuss natin, no? Maraming salamat kay ka-T-shirt ninyo. So, siya yung naging kaklase ko sa TIP before.
Okay.
So, great topic daw, sir.
Nice,
And,
nice. Sana may
congrats.
natutunan siya sa akin.
Yeah. Siyempre naman. So, yan, napaka-shoutout kay Ninyo. So, meron tayong dalawa, respect, tapos na tayo, collaboration, tapos na tayo. Pangatlo natin ay learning cycles.
Okay.
Yung learning cycles ba na ini-implement mo sa team, sir, is part of the retrospective, or paano yung learning cycles na ginagawa, ini-implement mo sa team mo right now?
The learning cycle should be it's more of learning from failure, and the team should be comfortable enough to fail. You
Correct.
should allow your team to fail.
Correct.
So
Tama yan.
pero that risk should be calculated,
Correct,
hindi
correct.
so
Hindi yung
yun lang
bahala
yung
ka diyan, 'di ba?
yun
Parang
lang
hindi
yung
mo naman sila itatapon sa bangin, 'di ba?
yeah,
Hindi naman,
of course you have to provide guidance, but sometimes if you allow them to fail, they will learn. So yun yung when it comes to my previous teams, I as much as possible, I allow them to to experience some sort of that, para they will understand and they will feel it, kasi minsan hindi ka matututo kung hindi ka mag-fail.
correct,
So yun lang yung ano ko. Then pagkatapos, when it comes to failure lang, um we shouldn't, for example, then pagkatapos we'll do, magha-huddle tayo bakit nag-fail, etc., etc. We shouldn't focus on a person, we
correct,
focus on the problem.
correct.
So di ba we usually do retrospectives. Um, pero merong parang quote and quote more formal version yan. Di ba ginagawa natin RCA? Yan yung formal version yan, di ba?
Yes, yes, oo.
Merong tinatawag na BPM. So it's a blameless postmortem. So
Oh,
it's doing RCA, but you're not focusing on finding the
the
person at
person.
fault. You're focusing on the problem. So parang bakit na-miss, parang na-miss, for example, ng isang tao yung isang line of code, and the whole application failed. So just hindi ka mag-focus lang doon, but you focus Bakit? So baka kasi nag-overtime siya ng 5 hours the previous day, kaya na-miss
Oo,
yun. So bakit siya nag-OT? Kasi sobrang dami ng trabaho niya. So parang there's a lot of underlying problems na that could have stopped that problem. That could have stopped that failure. So
correct.
yun. Then pagkatapos siguro um when it comes to um the learning cycles, kaya nga 'di ba Scrum, it's iterative and incremental
Yep,
kasi it optimizes yung yung predictability and control of risk, and it also help us to learn minutely along the way, hindi yung parang isang bagsak ito pala
correct,
siya. So ganun siya.
correct. At
So
saka, ano rin sir, no, kapag ka hindi ka nakafocus doon sa tao, instead the, the pressure, or hindi man pressure, but the learning will not come from the person alone,
mm,
but on the whole team.
yep.
Di ba? Parang nakafocus tayo, wag na natin gawin, ito yung ganito. So, napakagandang ways o yung way na yon to learn kasi inclusive, dito naman tayo sa inclusive, di ba? So, very inclusive yung approach. Yun talaga yung para across all yung mindset. Hindi lang nakafocus doon sa specific person. Tama
Yep.
yun.
You
Maganda.
should try BPMs. Parang makikita, i-search mo lang siya, makikita
Mm-mm.
mo siya dapat yung blameless postmortem.
Yep. And nakikita ko rin sir kapag may mga honest mistake na kasi yung iba kapag may honest mistake yung certain individual, they keep on taunting people. Oh, bakit mo ginawa yan? Bakit mo ginawa?
Mm,
Ako kasi I'm more of a what is the solution and what are the things na kailangan natin para hindi na ito mangyari.
mhm.
Um, and nakikita mo yung reaction ng tao na parang yung mga members ng team na parang um, bakit kaya siya hindi nagalit? Alam mo yun, sir, yung thinking na kaya hindi siya nagalit. Pero on the back of their minds, parang baka next time magagalit na siya. So, ang gagawin na natin, ito na lang sir para hindi na namin ito gawin. So, nagkukusa sila because
Okay.
nalalaman nila yung nalalaman nila yung problema instead of naku, paano kaya ako papagalitan ako. Imbis na dun sila mag-worry sa papagalitan ako, dun sila nag-worry sa paano kaya nating ito i-improve next time. 'Di ba? Parang
Yep.
napakagandang ah, ano talaga 'yun.
Tama. Then one thing lang, for example, one of your team members approaches you, then tells you that, for example, he did something, ang pagkatapos papagalitan mo siya, the next time itatago lang niya yan sa'yo eh.
Correct,
So everyone should be safe enough to be open when it comes to failures or mistakes.
correct.
And then tackle kung ano yung totoong reason bakit nangyari yun. So yun
Correct.
lang.
Tsaka nakita ko rin sir 'no kapagka meron silang mga bagay-bagay na kailangan tapos nandun ka and you are willing to help them and you are willing to support them, mas nagiging magaan yung pagsasabi sa inyo,
Yep.
pagsasabi nila sa inyo kung ano yung mga kailangan talaga nila.
Yep.
Kasi yun yung talaga yung struggle eh, no, sir? Parang lugi ka kapag sila-sila na nag-uusap.
Uh,
Di ba? Parang dapat yung burden, yung hirap, para magkatulungan lahat, you need to say it across.
yep.
Meron pa nga akong isang ano sir na one of my retro items talaga na
Uh,
meron silang sariling chat group.
mm,
Then mga devs, wala naman kasi yun.
mm,
Pwede naman yun kasi baka napaka-technical or something.
uh,
Pero may mga decision points na nangyayari dun sa chat group nila na hindi na share sa
mm.
sa buong team.
Okay.
So, sila na mismo yung na kasi nalalaman namin na ganito pala kaya nagkakaroon ng misunderstanding or misconception because meron silang sariling chat group na dapat kasama rin kami. So,
Okay.
yun yung yun yung binago namin na if there are any decision points na kailangan nyo kaming i-include for us to decide and for us to yun parang pagbotohan natin kung ano yung dapat at kung ano yung tama, 'di ba?
Sige.
Parang ganun talaga, kailangan talaga one
Oo.
unit.
Yung ano lang, when it comes to that situation, baka may underlying ulit na problem. So,
Correct,
always. So,
correct.
para
Ang
kasi 'di ba hindi siya hindi sila open, hindi sila transparent. So maybe there's something wrong when it comes to the psychological safety within the team. So
Yes.
kailangan lang natin hanapin yun, and
Yes.
maybe we can help address it. So yun lang naman.
Yes. Ang ano dun sir, ang sinabi nila, kinausap ko rin. Siyempre, alam ko na yung galawan kasi sir, 'di ba?
Ah,
Sinabi mo nga one-on-one conferencing, mini-mentor mo rin naman ako. So, inalam ko kung bakit nagkaroon ng ganong
mm,
situation. Ang
it's
nangyari
good.
pala is mahi parang kasi bago pa lang kami doon sa team,
Mm,
kakalipat lang namin from other department.
okay.
So, kakaano lang namin sa team. So, parang nahihiya pa sila
Okay.
to have those kind of
Okay.
questions and so on. So, pero
Okay.
nung later on, nung nakikita na nila na, ito pala yun. Ito na yung sinasabi niyo, sir, na yung safety, parang
Psychological safety. Yep.
yan, psychological safety. Na parang, okay lang pala na sabihin
Okay.
sa kanila. So,
That's
parang,
good.
yun yung naging, pero tama yun, sir, na mas maganda talaga na tulungan mo yung team bakit nila ginagawa yun. Kasi
Yes.
doon mo maatake yung totoong problema eh.
Uh,
Di ba, sir? Tama. Yan.
agree.
And then, ano yung mga pinakamahirap na learning cycles ng team na na-experience mo before, sir?
Pinakamahirap when it comes to learning cycles. Siguro di ba when it comes to learning cycles, one of the things na siguro lalabas is the retrospective. So, one of the biggest problems is yes, we do retrospectives, but we don't do any actions on the results of the retrospective. So, kailangan when it comes to that, we as much as possible. Hindi naman always 100% we solve everything. There are
Correct.
things that are out of our control, but we
Correct.
focus on things that um, we can solve. Yung parang nasa sphere ng control natin. So we should solve that. Hindi yun parang ililista lang natin siya.
Correct.
Pagkatapos, hahayaan lang natin siya. As long as you can control that action item sa retrospective, um, by all means, let's work on it. Hindi naman kailangan 100% everything should be solved. As much
Correct.
as possible, we solve it because sayang, 'di ba? Learning cycle 'yun eh. You've learned, pero did you adapt?
Correct.
Did you
Correct.
fix it?
Oo.
Natuto ka,
Pero
pero
inimplement mo ba? Yun
'yun.
yung tanong. No?
So 'yun yung in a way parang 'yun yung isa sa mga pinakamahirap kasi
Correct.
learning cycle madali lang naman kasi magpalabas ng problema eh. You'll know that
Tama, tama.
marami namang techniques yan, 'di ba? Yung mga five whys, 'di ba?
Oo, yan, yan.
Meron pa ng one-on-ones para
Correct.
comfortable yung taong kausap mo, etc. Marami pang different techniques. But the problem is doing an action sa result ng all of those things.
Correct.
Yung mga techniques na ginawa mo.
Parati ko ang sinasabi dati sa yung project natin before, di ba, sir?
Mm.
Na please don't use retrospective as a cadence alone.
Mm.
Kasi pag yung cadence lang yung para lang makasunod tayo dun sa cadence kung bakit mo ginagawa yung retrospective, it is a dead agile. Kasi
Ah,
parang no improvement at all. You are
ah.
just merely listening to the problem without even doing something about the problem, di ba?
May may
Yun yun,
quote
yeah.
may quote nga diyan, Mike eh.
Ay,
Inspection without adaptation is considered pointless.
oh, di ba? Yun eh. Pointless talaga sir eh, di ba?
Oh,
Parang nakakalungkot lang na parang you wanted to be called agile. You're just following the cadences and do nothing about it.
oh.
Mas masahol ka pa dun sa prehistoric na methodology pag ganun yung ginawa mo. So, yeah,
Napapansin mo ba, Mike, na lahat ng agile ceremonies, nagbabank yan sa inspection at adaptation. So, di ba,
correct,
daily stand-up. So, di ba, nakukuha natin kung ano yung mga nangyayari when it comes to that project. Then, if ever, so that's inspection. Pagkatapos, once na alam natin, oy, wait lang, may challenge tayo dito. So, then we adapt. Retro example po rin yan. Sprint planning, di ba? All adaptation and inspection. So, kung inspection lang yan, mahirap talaga kung inspection lang 'yan lahat then wala tayong adaptation, wala
Correct.
tayong improvements.
Correct. Di ba? For example, ma-inspect ka, tapos nahuli. Tapos, wala ka namang ginawa. Di ba? Dito na tayo papasok. Pagka
Oo,
inspection lang, sa next natin, improvement. Walang improvement. Di ba,
oo.
sir?
Actually tina-touch na natin yung improvement, eh.
Oo.
Pero ano, yun lang yung ano, ito isa ko rin problema 'to before, eh. When it comes to those retro items, gustong-gusto ko talaga i-solve lahat. So nase-stress ka, 'di ba? Ay
Hmm.
nase-stress rin yung team.
Oo.
So kasi we want to solve all those problems. Pero there are things na um, beyond our control. Um, yun yung ang fino-focus ko ngayon is yung low hanging fruits. Kasi yung madali lang siya, may instant impact pa. Kasi
Oo.
usually yung mga beyond our control, matagal pa yung usapan.
Correct.
So focus on the small items because yung items na yun may instant impact yon sa team.
Correct. Totoo yun. Meron ako isang scenario, sir, na napakaganda na nangyayari ngayon sa team namin. Shout
Nice.
out kay Team Navi, no? Sila Angela,
Grabe.
yan, sila Gemmark, si
OGs na yan,
Ruby.
mga OGs na yan
Oo,
ah.
yung mga dating tao ni Sir Do talagang
OGs.
napakagaling, no? So, nangyari to, sir, ng siguro mga third sprint namin, and nakita namin na parang yung Jira is napaka dull, hindi na-update, yung mga gano'n. Tapos pagka nagkahanapan ng mga ebidensya,
Ah,
i-scroll mo pa do'n sa
ah,
Viber. Dahil nawawala yung mga decision points, nawawala yung mga, bagay-bagay, 'no, na kailangan ng team kapag nasa Viber chat. So, ang ginagawa namin right now is we come up with a plan na how we can utilize, yung, Jira into something na maging diary namin. Um, on a day-to-day or maybe 2 days after a basis para lang lahat ng mga decision points is nandun. So, nakita namin yung worth nung agad-agad nung next sprint pa lang nakuha talaga namin. Tapos, na-appreciate ng team yung, ginawa nila. Kasi hindi ko naman pwedeng gawin, ako lang gawa nun. So, syempre kailangan ko rin ng tulong nila, di ba? So, na-appreciate ng team yung nangyayari kasi nagkakaroon na kami ng advanced user stories, tapos mas madali nilang naso-solve yung mga blockers and dependencies. Tapos may kita mo na lang napakasarap ng feeling, sir, na sa isang retrospective na hindi na ikaw yung nag-iisip for the improvement, sila na mismo.
that's good.
Tapos inaano ko sa kanila, mini-mirror ko yun sa kanila na this is what you are before and this is what you are now. Na naiisip niyo na yung mga bagay-bagay without even me thinking of it. So parang doon mo makikita na dedicated sila dun sa term na improvement. At the same time, they are excited to use the tools and they are excited to have, an additional, insights, no, para dun sa term na improvement. Napakagandang bagay nun na
Tama
makita.
yan. Yan,
Nakakakilig.
maganda yan. Kasi di ba, when it comes to our improvements, talagang may instant impact. The mere fact na ginamit natin yung Jira for all those things, hindi na kailangan i-browse through Viber. Diba? Sobrang simple shift lang siya. Or
Yes.
sabihin natin na minor shift lang siya. Then everyone benefits from it. Basta, ang importante when it comes to the action items, nagbe-benefit lahat. Hindi yung isang tao lang.
Correct.
Di
Tama,
ba?
tama.
So kung lahat ng tao nagbe-benefit, everyone will work on those improvements.
Tama.
Then isa lang rin, one point when it comes to retrospectives and which is tied to improvements. When it comes to retrospectives, isang dahilan na hindi masyadong interested yung mga tao when it comes to retrospectives is walang nangyayari sa action items. So
Correct.
parang oh, cadence na lang yung sinabi mo kanina,
Pinapaba.
cadence na lang siya. So yun lang parang para to preserve the sanctity of retrospectives,
Tama.
work on action items.
Correct.
Hindi naman kailangan 100% but work on it kasi it's improvement pa rin.
Correct. Yung realization lang na meron tayong napapala dito sa cadence na to.
Yes.
Yun yung
Yes.
napaka-important talaga, eh, 'no, sir?
Yep.
Kasi parang you are not wasting your time for something na wala namang value,
Yep.
'di ba? So,
Yep.
make sure kung kayo magiging Scrum Master kayo, guys, or magiging Agile practitioner kayo, make sure na lahat ng cadence niyo has a value para it can add up to your moral, your parang strategy, 'di ba? Na hindi lang kayo nakakulong dun sa guidelines. Kasi guidelines lang 'yan. You are
Mhm.
still be the master of what is happening around you, 'di ba? Parang ganun.
Tama.
Yan, 'di ba? So, na-touch na natin yung improvement. One, two, three, four. Ayun na na. The next topic natin or core values natin ay accountability. Yan.
Accountability. 'Di ba, most of the time ownership siya. So,
Yes.
'di ba, ownership siya. So, sa akin lang, minsan when it comes to accountability, we focus on one person. But when it comes to accountability, dapat lahat siya. The whole team and our partners, our customers, and our stakeholders. Um, ownership, it also means commitment. Di ba? Once we commit on something, we should stand by that commitment. Pero,
Correct.
just one thing lang, depende kung ano yung commitment na yun. Kung forced commitment yun, of course,
Hindi.
hirap na hirap yung mga tao sa accountability
Correct.
niyan. When it
Correct.
comes to commitment, dapat, ito example lang nito, after the end of a sprint planning, everyone should be comfortable with
To
that
that.
plan. With
Correct.
that plan. So parang kung ang ginagawa niyo is ano yan yung fist of fives or ano man. So get the feedback of the team when it comes to that commitment.
Commitment.
Kasi baka ikaw lang yung komportable nun, hindi komportable yung ibang tao. And if ever may hindi man komportable, then get feedback from that person. Bakit hindi siya komportable? Kasi baka siya lang nakakita pero hindi nakikita ng ibang tao.
Correct.
So, yun everyone should be committed but that commitment comfortable dapat lahat ng tao.
Mm.
Um yeah, and aside from that, when it comes to accountability, transparency is also part of that. Everyone should be transparent enough, open enough to each other when it comes to what they are doing in that sprint. Kasi 'di ba, everyone should be on the same page, everyone should be focused on the goal. So, 'yun.
Tama, 'no? Napakahirap kasing, pumasok sa isang sprint na hindi comfortable yung team. Kasi
Yep.
may coercion, may challenges, 'di ba? Kaya alam mo yun na me as a scrum master, ayoko rin naman sabihin sa akin ng team ko na I told you so, 'di ba? Yung mga gano'n na moment. Kaya, from the very get-go, yung start ng mga presentations for the iteration, talagang sinasabi ko na talaga sa taas kung ano yung nararamdaman natin. Kasi if they have this kind of idea na hindi puro butterflies and flowers, kasi sometimes 'di ba may mga scrum master talaga or may mga boss talaga na pag nagbalita sa taas, hindi yun yung reflection nung nasa baba. Sometimes may mga ganun talaga na parang they will make it as pleasant as possible. Ako kasi it's the other way around. Hindi naman sobrang negative, but meron pa rin akong safeguard na sasabihin ko sa kanila na we can do it, but we are not confident to finish it. Yun lang yung disclaimer ko. We can try, pero meron akong disclaimer na may mga ganitong scenarios kami nakikita. And kung hindi nyo to pakikinggan, baka ganito yung mangyari sa atin. Winawarningan ko lang kayo. But to the point na kung kaya namin or gagawin namin. Walang kaso yan. But I wanted to be transparent lang sa inyo na ito yung possible na mangyayari. But hini-heads upan lang kita. Parang gano'n.
Tama naman kasi hindi naman talaga ideal yung mundo, 'di ba?
Correct.
So when it comes to that commitment, maraming factors 'yan. So, um tama, you should be transparent enough to the to the um to the stakeholders or customers, ano yung challenges at saka risks
Correct.
na gagawin because we have to do it. Um,
Correct.
kasi when it comes to our commitment, ito yung best effort.
Correct.
Pero kung we have to do this, ito yung mangyayari. Everyone should be aligned. You
Correct.
shouldn't be afraid when it comes to saying those things
Correct.
kasi they should also know and understand it na yun yung mangyayari. Hindi yung parang nung sumabog na doon pa lang nila malalaman.
Correct.
That's hindi na yon okay. Hindi na siya okay. Wala na yung collaboration which is number two.
Correct.
Yeah.
Doon sa values daw, sir. Tama, no? Parang ang hirap talaga kapag you are saying something against dun sa kung ano talaga yung nangyayari. And
Yeah.
na-appreciate ko rin yung ano, sir, yung mga stakeholders na they are very team player na parang, ganito, ganyan pala yung mangyayari. Sige, ganito gawin natin pagka ganyan nangyayari. Parang they want, sometimes kasi, sir, nagkakaroon ng confusion with regards dun sa stakeholders kapag hindi nila naintindihan yung mga bagay.
Yes.
Tapos ang nakikita pa nila is puro kasalita, wala kang visual. Nakatulong ng malaki yung visual, sir. Nung gumagawa ako ng mga visuals na ito yung magiging impact, ito yung timeline, ito yung nakikita namin. Mas naiintindihan nila at mas nagiging may care sila dun sa actual implementation na nawawala yung dates. Yun yung maganda eh kasi di ba usually mga business more of a dates, deadlines, and so on. So, dahil naiintindihan nila, they can come up with an idea na baka pwedeng ito lang muna or baka pwedeng ito muna. So, nagkakaroon ng collaboration, nagkakaroon ng bargaining agreement with all of those things because you are transparent.
Yep.
Yun yung maganda dun.
Yep. Parang ano lang yan, Mike, pag-akyat ng bundok. Most of our stakeholders, nakikita lang nila yung summit.
Correct. Tama.
Pero hindi nila nakikita yung papunta ng summit, gano'n siya kahirap.
Correct.
So, so yun yung ano, once that they understand the risks and the journey going to the summit, then doon nila makikita na baka tama pala yung sinabi niya. Then we can pivot to another solution which is better. We can minimize the scope, we can minimize the
Correct.
MVP kasi it's risky and it's full of challenges. So yun lang
Correct.
naman. Baka kasi they're just focused on the ultimate goal, hindi nila nakikita yung journey.
Correct. Yan. Di ba? Oh, shoutout kay Sir Carl. Nag-message siya si Sir Carl.
Carl,
Um,
basta Carl.
mm. So, sir, may tanong, kanino ka po ba daw nagko-commit?
No comment. No comment.
So, depende po kung anong sprint na. Maraming sprint si Sir Dre.
Mahirap talaga yung mga tanong ni Carl eh.
Oo, mahirap. Ano yan, dalawa meaning minsan eh. Okay, Sir Carl, thanks for watching. So, ayan na tayo, no? Accountability. Then, ito na yung last natin na core values. The last is the adaptive. Being adaptive. Yeah. Actually,
Sige.
this is the ano, sir, parang ito yung be all and all. Parang may improvement ka na, you're accountable na, pero paano ito magiging part na nung buong process mo? Yun yung talagang ano.
Naalala ko yung ano, when it comes to being adaptive, naalala ko yung mga multiple plans mo, Mike. Di ba? A, B, C, D. Yun yung
Correct.
perfect example ng ano, being adaptive. Kasi when it comes to making a plan, that plan should be frequently reviewed and retooled. Kasi hindi yan static plan. Kasi when it comes to that plan being frequently reviewed and retooled, nagkakaroon ka ng dynamic strategy.
Correct.
Di ba? Parang you're ready for everything. That multiple plans, you're ready for everything. So
Correct.
meaning hindi ka parang pag may biglang challenge, alam mo paano ka mag-a-adapt, paano ka mag-pivot ng plano. So mahirap yung parang isang plano lang. Pagkatapos tingnan lang natin pag nag-fail yan, gawa lang tayo ng bagong plano. Ang problema niyan, sobrang haba na ng um, sobrang nagkakaroon nga na ng waste of effort, time,
Correct.
pagkatapos humahaba na rin yung development time mo, mahirap siya.
Mahirap
So we should,
habulin, totoo.
yes. So then pagkatapos, alam naman natin na the 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 corporate world and the world itself is, constantly changes, 'di ba? So nung start ng 2020, alam ba natin na magkaka-COVID, 'di ba?
Correct,
So we adapted to that situation. And dapat hindi lang siya in bigger things or bigger circumstances natin siya ina-apply. We should apply it any sa lahat ng parts ng buhay natin.
correct,
Siguro sa, for example, for work, we should be able to adapt to everything, not just on plans but also on environments, on the people around us, kasi hindi lang naman siya yung mag-a-adapt sa'yo, you should also adapt to that person. So being adaptive, it's not just the sprint plan, but holistically everything talaga siya. Tao, circumstance, challenge, um, kung ano-ano pa. So
correct,
yun. It's very important.
correct. And dito talaga natin masasabi na if na moving talaga yung mga parts and kung paano talaga tayo mag-evolve into something professionally, emotionally,
Yes.
and personally, no?
Yep.
Talagang napaka-importante yung adaptation. Kasi kung walang adaptation, walang cycle,
Yep.
walang improvement, and walang flexibility. Diba? Kaya napaka-important yung adaptation na yan.
Yep.
But
Then
this is the
go
most
go.
challenging part, no, sir?
Ah.
Yung adaptation.
Tama. Then pagkatapos, siguro add ko lang, Mike, when it comes to Agile, di ba, ang isang parang sinasabi natin, it's creating value for our customers. So, paano ka magka-create ng value kung ang sinusunod mo yung lumang plan? So, kung yung
Correct,
lumang plano, hindi na pala siya valuable to our customers.
correct,
So, what's the sense of that of that result? So kailangan when it comes to delivering value, it also ties up with being adaptive. Kasi baka ngayong araw hindi yung ginagawa mo, it's not valuable na. Baka in the next day it's iba na.
hindi na.
So you should be able to be adaptive when it comes to that. Pero kailangan lang natin i-consider na we should help our teams understand that. Kasi 'di ba parang
Correct.
palaging challenge siya ng mga teams na palagi na lang i-change yung plano.
Nagbabago, correct,
Oo, nagbabago yung plano. But they just have to understand, and also you have to protect the team
correct,
na when it comes to that change, dapat it's gonna be smooth for them as well. Kasi 'di
correct,
ba, pala yung nung sa start pa lang, we should be customer centric and also team centric. Hindi lang yung customer centric lang tayo palagi. Kailangan rin natin protektahan yung mga teams natin. Sanity wise, pagkatapos yung lahat yung overall health nila, physical, mental,
correct,
etc.
correct. Naalala ko tuloy yung yung OT na pamorningan talaga tapos and parating lumalabas siya sa cadence ay sa retrospective natin na that's the underlying problem. Pero nakakalungkot lang na nawala na yung team but
Na,
nawala na yung buong train but hindi man lang natin na-solve. 'Di ba?
na,
Parang natanos na tayo lahat. Tapos nandun pa rin yung problema basically.
the siguro yung ano lang naman nun is at the start of the start of the pandemic, siguro we could have siguro kung ako lang nag-isip nun, we could have um, checked, we constantly checked the overall health of the teams.
Correct,
Pagkatapos, um, aside from, di ba nakikita natin siya sa cadences, we could have, sa akin, limited work.
correct. Kasi 'di ba sir hindi naman sa padamihan ng trabaho 'yan eh, but the quality of work. 'Di ba?
Yes, we could have limited work. Yeah.
Oo, kung yung work hours mo is natatapos mo siya ng 10 hours. Tapos yung quality is the same lang sa 6 hours. Di ba parang mas marami ka pang may magagawa ka pa sa 2 hours na 8 hours, di ba? So parang
Ah,
kaya dahil hindi sila pagod, hindi sila agitated and so on. So maraming psychological factor na dapat pinag-aaralan nung mga panahon na yun. But wala, natapos na eh. Ganun talaga. But yun nga, no? Nakakatuwa lang dito sa pagiging Scrum Master and pagiging Agile Practitioner is it's a never-ending imagination and creativity on how you can solve the problem. Na parang it's a variety of things na nangyayari sa isang sprint and it's a variety of things that you can solve, di ba? Na parang dun nagiging flexible, dun nagiging nahahasa yung iyong perception about agile. Kaya nga
ah,
nakakatawa yung mga nagsasabi na pag agile kay wala ka ng problema. Sinasabi, oh my God, that's
yeah.
not true.
Agile is not perfect naman.
Correct.
It
And
has its challenges rin.
correct. And then siya, basta, ewan ko, dito ako talaga, ano sir, dito talaga ako namangha doon sa process na to. And sana mas marami pang companies na mag-adapt, no, with regards to agile. And hindi lang yung basta agile, ano.
Tama,
Marami
tama.
kasing agile eh. Parang scramble or ang dami na nga eh. Ang dami hybrid na
Oo.
to the point na nagkakaroon na ng confusion kasi meron ka ditong old school project manager na they wanted to have timelines and so on without even thinking the journey and without thinking about the challenges ahead of them. Tapos ikaw naman nag-implement ka ng agile and you wanted to be transparent. So parang saan ba? Ano ba?
A timeline is ano, para sa akin it's a guide, but it's not cast in stone.
Oh,
Kasi
yeah.
kasi minsan at ang tawag ko sa timeline it's ano eh, false
False.
sense of security.
Correct.
So i- parang sa akin, for example, kampante na ako. For example, dati, kampante na ako kasi nag-provide na nung I was handling a project before. Kampante na ako kasi nag-provide na sila ng timeline. Kampante ako pero wala talaga nakakaalam kung mare-reach yung timeline na yun.
Correct. Correct.
Parang a week before or 2 weeks before doon pa natin malalaman na
Correct.
it
Kung
will not pan
talagang
out. So parang ganun. It should be a guide but it shouldn't be cast in stone na yan talaga.
correct. Yun yung nakaka-stress talaga kapag yung kausap mo, they are looking at the timeline as a hard timeline.
Mm.
Pero kung titignan mo, looking at the books, na kung nangyayari everyday, hindi talaga eh. Di ba? Parang
Ah,
may mga scenario, magkasakit lang yung isang dev mo.
oo,
Pag sick leave lang yan, I tell you, all of the things na sinabi mo, it will have
tama,
an impact, di ba?
tama.
So, hindi mo naman control, huwag ka muna magkasakit ha, next week na. Hindi mo pwedeng ganun eh.
Oo. Hindi, tsaka ano, we should be ano, we should like ngayon na ngayon sa panahong 'to, we should be empathetic enough
Correct.
to our developers. To everyone, not just developers, but to everyone. Kasi hindi natin alam yung challenges na hinaharap nila sa mga kani-kanilang bahay ngayon.
Ayan, correct. So, ayan, meron pa malang mga tanong si Sir Carl. Sir Carl, nakakatulong ba sa pagbaba ng stress ang siomay?
Parang
Parang sa
parang
akin nata yun.
sa'yo ata yan, Mark.
Ah,
Mike, mahirap yan.
yung pagbaba ng stress, Sir Carl, hindi. Mas lalo lang tumaas yung stress ko nung
Tuwa sa
hindi.
uric acid. Tuwa sa
Oo,
uric
hindi lang buti sana ko ibibigay lang yung siomay eh. May kondisyon pa eh para mabigay. Pero anyways, siomay. Okay, tapos ito Sir Nestor, one of the agile coaces din
Oo.
sa
Paring
Globe kasi
Nestor.
ayan, mga
Palagi ko
ka-chokera
yung
natin.
kausap si Nestor eh.
Ayan. Sabi, agile will not solve the problem, but agile can show your problems, di ba?
Oo, tama,
Which
tama,
is
tama.
mas maganda na ang agile ang magpapakita sa ng problema para
Yep,
alam natin kung paano siya isolve.
tama.
Minsan din sir, ito speaking do sa sa sinabi ni Sir, Nestor 'no, parang akala ng companies 'pag naging agile na sila, mas magiging mabilis agad.
Mm.
'Di ba parang mas magiging mabilis, mas magiging, magaan or magiging alam mo yun yung mga promises, yung mga benefits, eh, yun nga yung sabi niyo sir 'di ba naka-focus ka agad dun sa summit, pero the journey hindi mo pa talaga alam. Parang nagiging ganun yung mentality ng ibang companies na, I wanted to become agile, I wanted blah, 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 implement this, bang! Baba na agad, 'di ba?
Yun yung ano eh, yun parang mag-fall ulit siya sa, oh, nag-apply tayo ng Agile. So, we've inspected. We know the problem. Yung sabi na nga ni Nesto. But the problem is, did we solve those problems na nakita natin? So, yun yung ano, yun yung when it comes to pag in-apply natin yung Agile, gusto nila na mabilis agad. Pero the underlying problems
Is
should be
nandun pa,
solved as well.
correct. Dapat matanggal muna yun before
Uh,
they can see the benefits, which is yun naman
yes.
talaga, 'di ba?
Yep.
Yun yung magandang path talaga sir na parang magkakaroon ka ng mindset na may effect talaga. Yung hindi lang basta pahangin lang or nasa nasa nakikita mo lang o pinapalabok mo lang yung mga bagay. Yung talaga nakikita mo na buhay yung agile. That's something na napaka-ideal talaga. And yun yung pangarap ko sir na if someday na magkaroon ng yung agile coaching or something na position, gusto ko makita yung ganun. Yun yung ninanais ko talaga na someday na makita ko na magkaroon ng transformation yung team. Yun yung goal ko talaga eh. Na, yung team na malaki, na skilled na talaga na agile. Ang sarap siguro makita nun, no, sir? Kayo ba, sir, naranasan mo na yun, sir, na lahat ng handle nyo na team eh, na skilled eh, nandun
Maganda
na.
yung maganda yung ano, yung simula natin eh, yung sa previous project. Ganda.
Oo,
Ganda yun yung ano eh. Parang yun yung tingin ko when it comes to other experiences. Isa yun sa mga
magaganda.
pinakamaganda.
Totoo. Parang ano eh, no, ideal talaga.
Mm,
Medyo may nangyari lang talaga na hindi naman natin makokontrol but
it's beyond our control.
correct. But sayang no, kung napagpatuloy talaga yan, something na very ideal talaga as a working ground and training ground para
Mm,
doon sa mga Scrum Masters. No? Well, ganun talaga. But yun pa rin, dapat ang goal natin is for us to see those kind of ideal things. Yun yung nakaka-excite talaga.
yep,
Di ba?
agree.
Sige. I think na-capture naman natin napakaganda ng conversation na nangyari no parang very casual, very informative, very full of experiences and so on. Um pero sir, last na lang parting ways or parting words para
Okay.
sa mga aspiring scrum master or aspiring agile practitioner take it away sir.
Siguro ano, when it comes to the agile mindset, so how can you nurture it or how to grow it sa inyo? Siguro self-awareness, reflect and adapt. So kilalanin mo yung sarili mo. Pagkatapos, if you find something that needs to be improved, improve it. Kasi di ba, growth mindset tayo. And then, when it comes to our teams, listen and be humble. So, active listening siya, hindi yung makikinig lang tayo because we want um, to, 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 to reply immediately yung idea natin. We should be actively listening, understanding that person. Then siguro ano, 'di ba growth mindset, always get feedback. Feedback should be two-way. Provide feedback but also get feedback. Um, baka kasi meron kang hindi nakikita sa sarili mo na you need to improve. And then the last one, try out new things because you'll never know what you're good at if you're not trying out new things. So that's agile mindset, growth mindset.
Tama. Yun yung ano sir eh, yun yung very ano ko dun eh, parang bakit ayaw niyong baguhin, ayaw niyong mag-experiment on things
Ah,
na parang you are seeing this problem happening, doing the same shit, pero you keep on doing that scenario. Ay, Meron pa isa, may pahabol pa na question.
Sige,
Sorry
go.
naman, sir, ha.
Go lang.
Ito ang sabi. How do you deal with employee resistance during Agile? For example, yung dev magko-commit siya pero hindi naman niya talaga gagawin. He or she will derail the transition na parang ganon.
How yung mga ano, nagko-commit siya pero hindi gagawin?
Oo, parang may resistance pa between those kind of people.
Siguro ano, yung na-mention ko kanina, um, every time sa mga instances na yun, may underlying problem. There's a lot of things that I could think of. Una, baka, yes, kinomit niya, but alam niya na at first na hindi niya talaga kaya yon. Then pagkatapos, siguro sabihin lang natin, um, na na pressure siya
Pressure.
to
Correct.
get it. Second, he or she doesn't understand how to do it, or hindi niya alam kung paano siya gawin.
Mm,
There's another way how to solve that. Then pagkatapos, siguro isa pang naisip ko, um, he or she lost moral, team moral. So
correct.
parang there's a lot of things. Siguro sa akin, the first thing that you could do is talk to that person. Understand where you could help. Understand where you could solve the problem. Um, Kasi mahirap kasi na parang when it comes to the resistance, you educate pero you don't hindi mo alam kung ano yung underlying problem. Baka kasi yung pag-educate hindi yun yung solution.
Correct.
So we have to understand that person, what the problem of that person or yung challenge niya.
Correct.
Then we solve the problem.
Mm. Yan, di
So
ba?
kasi education, it will only touch something, helping him understand the benefit and the sabihin natin the importance of that work, um, will touch something, but it doesn't solve kung ano talaga yung problema niya kung hindi natin siya naiintindihan kung ano yung
Correct.
problema niya.
Correct. Di ba? Yan. So maraming maraming salamat sa ating ekspertong totoo. Sir,
Kung meron silang questions, paabot niyo lang kay Mike, then
ayan.
I'll try my best to answer.
Ayan. So, tignan natin, no, yung mga may follow-up pa na questions. Let's see, no, if we can cater that pa. But,
Yep, I could answer that. Pwede niyo i-message rin ako sa LinkedIn.
ayan,
Yep.
LinkedIn ni Sir Andrew Glovasa, no? So, yan, napakagandang session ito na hopefully we can have more Scrum Masters
Yep.
para mas may diversity, no? Para
Yes.
tignan natin if we can grab some of
Yung
our colleagues na
yung
uh,
plano nga natin, Mike, ano tayo, mag-stand up tayo na ay mag-SOS
parang
tayo na
dati,
same yung
para
dati, oh, yung
parang dati.
lahat ng
Sige,
mga kasama.
i-ano natin yan, baka pwede natin gawin ng December or something.
Yes,
Let's
yes,
try,
yes.
let's try.
Maraming free time yung iba, no?
Yep. And I think maraming nanonood right now, ha. Hindi tayo na bumababa sa 5 6 actually marami na yun sa akin. 5 6 ano, nagte-10 pa nga tayo, nag-11 pa tayo kanina. So, maraming salamat sa mga insights, Sir Drew. And sa mga ka-t-shirts ko dyan, you wanted this topic or kung ano man ang topic na kailangan or gusto nyong pag-usapan natin, you can chat me, the t-shirt guy channel, and you can comment, no, sa mga streamings natin para alam namin kung ano yung kailangan at ano yung gusto nyong gawin natin as a sessions. So again, maraming salamat and hope you like this content, no, itong sessions natin. Sir Drew, I owe
Thank you,
you one.
thank you.
Maraming maraming salamat and see you next week on the next T-shirt guy sessions.
Thank you,
Thank
Mike.
you.